This morning I'm working on a 2010 Ford Focus with the 2.0 engine, and I believe I've got some motor mount issues. I've had this car for about 6 years, put on about 40,000 miles, and I've replaced the top motor mount 2 or 3 times. That one right there is a Autozone, and I do not believe that one's bad. I'm going to pull it off and double check it. It's a little tough to tell just looking at the top of it. So I'm going to pull it off and check it, but I'm going to kind of give you guys a little example of what the issue is. So I'm going to start this thing up and show you what my problem is. So here it is. I just started the engine. It's kind of warming up a little bit. And just looking at the engine, it doesn't really indicate that the motor mount is an issue. There's not a whole lot of vibration occurring. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that right there is shaking pretty good. The lines right here are shaking pretty good. A little tough to pick up in the video. The motor is vibrating a little bit, so I'm going to give a little demonstration on the dash and see if you can hear what's going on the inside. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can kind of show you what's going on. I'm going to use this small sheet metal bolt. Hopefully you can see what's happening there. The sheet metal bolt didn't work very good, so I'm going to use a socket so you can see it a little better. And as you can see, the vibration that's going on, I cannot keep this socket on top of that steering wheel. So I'm going to change the motor mounts out, and like I said, I've already replaced the top one, so I'm going to replace the transmission mount on the passenger side, or the driver's side rather, and the transmission torque bar, or whatever that's called down there. And we're going to test this out once we change out each one of those. We can identify how much difference the is made with each one of those changes. So stand by. Alright, so before we change the transmission strut mount, we're going to do a little test. And we're going to shift this thing from neutral to reverse to drive. See how much torque that engine's got on it. Now reverse, go to drive, reverse, drive. I don't know if you can see that, but there's quite a bit of shifting on the engine. Reverse, drive, park. So we're going to change that rear strut mount and see if that helps. So we're underneath it. I want to see if we can get a little video of what's going on, because that's the strut mount we're going to change right there. All right, go ahead. Reverse, forward, reverse, drive. All right, we're going to see if that new one helps that out at all. So here's the new one I'm going to put on, and that's what we're going to replace. That's a Autozone part number 3087 torque strut. We're going to replace it with that new one and see if that fixes the problem. Okay, so we got the old one out, and it is definitely torn. I don't know if you can see this on the video. But right there, definitely torn right here on this side. This side is pretty well cracked up too, so we're going to do a little test. Here's the new one with the torque strut on. Forward. Reverse. Forward. Park. Alright, so it's still moving, so we're going to replace the transmission mount, which is right under there somewhere. We'll do another test. Before we do, we're going to see how much the strut mount cured some of that vibration. Alright, so we're going to put our socket back on top of the steering wheel and see if it stays this time. And that's a no. So that strut mount didn't completely cure our vibration problem. So we're going to change the transmission mount, see if that helps. We got the transmission mount out. It comes out of that hole right there under the battery box. And there's plenty of YouTube videos on the removal and installation of this, so I'm not really focusing on that. Here's the old one. As you can see right there, definitely torn and not in very good shape. So here's the new one. Duralast part number 2986. And it is a little different style. So a lot more daylight. So we're going to see if this one makes the difference. Give it a test. So we got the transmission mount back and the new one. We're going to do another test, see how the vibration and torque looks. Got the e-brake on. Alright, put it in reverse. Drive. Reverse. Drive. Okay, it's still shifting around quite a bit. We're going to see how the vibration test goes. Alright, so here we are with the transmission mount changed. And it significantly reduced the vibration. We'll do the test again with the socket on the steering wheel, and as you can see, it's sitting there. So that made a big difference, that transmission mount. So hopefully this helps you guys out. We did not change the motor mount on the passenger side, since that one's fairly new. I'm confident that one's still good. But as you can see, that transmission mount made a huge difference. Or the combination of the strut mount and the transmission mount. So hopefully this helps you guys out if you got some significant vibration going on in your Ford Focus.